Church bulletins are notoriously ugly, and most of them have a content problem and a spacing problem because there's too much information being crammed into too little space. It makes them really hard to navigate, and it prevents the church's message from being communicated clearly and beautifully. And that's what's happening with this church's bulletin, and it detracts from other positive aspects of the design. This series of videos teaches you how to pick up on design errors and how to fix them so that you can apply those skills to your own designs. We look at real church designs, not so that we can make any church feel bad about their designs, but so that we can be learning from real world examples. So let's try and fix this design. And the first thing that I think we need to do is see if we can trim down some of this content. And the reason that church bulletins like this get so bloated is that we use them to try and communicate everything. But in reality, they are just one part of your overall communication strategy. So it's really important to view your bulletin in the context of all your other communications. And in this bulletin, we have multiple bits of information that could be removed if we improve our signage around the building. If you make the toilet sign clearer in your building, then you won't need to direct people to where the toilets are in your church bulletin. So let's get rid of all that information. But now we have a slightly random section at the bottom that talks about things that can be found on the website. So let's summarize all of this and we'll make it a clearer invitation to check out the website. But the design is still feeling a little bit random. We've got information kind of all over the place. And so I think that one of the best things we could do to help readers navigate this document is to group similar information together. So for example, here are two bits of information relating to welcoming people before the service, and it makes sense to have them together. And then these are all either future dates or notices, and so again, it makes sense to group those things together. And to me, it feels like this contact information should actually be grouped with the website information at the bottom like this. But now the spacing needs improving. The original design had inconsistent spacing because some of the notices had a lot of space and some of them felt quite cramped. So let's first add a margin around the whole document so that all of the text has a bit more room to breathe. And then I think we can use this space better by giving the service times a bit more structure and using the full width of the space. We could also move this text down, making sure that both sections are aligned together. And so you can see the design is starting to look a little bit more structured. But I think we still need to make the different sections even more obvious. So we'll put the welcome information and this image for the sermon in a box at the top so it stands out. And we can put the hymn information underneath. And if we add a horizontal line here, we can make it clear that all the information above that line is related to this particular service. And the information below is all about upcoming events and services. And if we add some titles, we can make it even more clear. We can then separate the contact information from the rest of the text by placing that in a box at the bottom. So now it feels really clearly organized and it's easy to navigate. And finally, the font that they've used for the title and the outline effect that they've used is really dated. So let's use the same font that we've used in the rest of the design. So by making a few simple changes, we've transformed this church's bulletin. Your church bulletin doesn't need to communicate everything. And if you try to communicate everything, you run the risk of not actually getting your message across. Reducing the amount of information that you're trying to include and making sure that you give it enough space will make sure that your message is heard and received. But what do you think? Have I improved this design? I'd love to hear what you would have done differently, so let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, I have a whole playlist of videos about how to fix church designs. I think this is one of the best ways to learn how to improve your own designs. So if you think that would be helpful, you could watch this video next. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.